Joining us now, Democratic Congressman Adam Smith of Washington State. He's also the ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman, good to see you this morning. Happy 4th to you. What do you believe that message should be? Well. Thank you very much. What do you believe that message should be going forward? I would say we got hints of it, right? We certainly had some of it in Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries' magic minute, 8+ hour magic minute. But what is going to be the most effective messaging strategy for you moving forward, given that some of the initial broader wins, if you will, that Americans will feel from this bill are what will go into effect first, not the cuts that come after the midterms?
It's two things. One, this is a massive giveaway that just adds to the debt and puts our country in a more fiscally precarious situation. I mean, it adds $3.5 trillion to the debt. And how do we know that the debt is a problem? Because just about every single Republican, including Donald Trump, who voted for this bill, told us this was a problem. This was part of their criticism of Joe Biden during the campaign, that he had been fiscally irresponsible, that he'd spent all this money and done all these things that had driven us into a situation where, we were in a fiscally terrible situation. And now they've added $3.5 trillion to the debt for giveaways, which primarily go to people who were wealthy. That's where tax breaks usually go. So you've got that part. But then the second part is the bill is also incredibly cruel in that it takes money away from people who need it the most, people who need it to get access to health care, as we have seen where between 11 and 17 million people are going to be booted off of health care and not have any insurance. And it takes away food assistance. It takes away the basic help that a lot of people need in order to pursue the American dream. So it's a giveaway to some people at the expense of our fiscal health, while at the same time punishing the people who most need help. I mean, a huge part of the Trump message was there's so many people out there who just don't have economic opportunity. We're going to give it back to them. And he's hurting the very people who he campaigned on a promise to help.
There will be quite the messaging battle, as we know, over the next year plus ahead of the midterms. I'm going to put that aside for the moment because I'd really like to get your take on what is happening with Ukraine. Of course, President Trump speaking in a phone call with Vladimir Putin yesterday. He was not at all happy after that call. He's set to speak with President Zelensky today. And there has been a lot made of this pause in approved weapons, a pause in those weapons being sent to Ukraine. The president was asked about that. Here's his response.
Why did you pause weapons?
We haven't. We're giving weapons, but we've given so many weapons. But we are giving weapons, and we're working with them and trying to help them. But we haven't. Biden emptied out our whole country giving them weapons, and we have to make sure that we have enough for ourselves.
So the president says that President Biden emptied all the weapons. We have to make sure we have enough. But then on the heels of that, we also had the chief spokesperson for the Department of Defense saying, and I'm quoting Sean Parnell here, saying, quote, "Let it be known that our military has everything it needs to conduct any mission, anywhere, anytime, all around the world." When asked about this, those comments from him were on Wednesday. What is your understanding of where the coffers are at in this moment? Has the stockpile really been emptied out, or does the military have everything it needs?
Well, first of all, let's understand, Donald Trump lies like most people breathe. It's just instinct to him. And what he just said there is a bald-faced lie. Nothing has been emptied out. Our stockpiles are just about where they were three and a half years ago. We have met a number of demands, not just in Ukraine, but in the Middle East as well. But we are not emptied out. And I agree with the last assessment that said we have what we need to meet our national security needs. Now, as always, we have to build more. Before the Ukrainian war started, we had some areas that needed enhancing. But there is no way that we've been emptied out. That's just a bald-faced lie, number one. Number two, Ukraine has used this assistance to stop Putin in his tracks and give them a real chance to force Putin to accept the fact that he's not going to be able to take over Ukraine. But President Trump has come into office and just undermined Ukraine at every turn, while making Putin think that if he just outweights us, we'll abandon Ukraine. No pressure has been put on Putin. Look, Trump said he was going to end the war on day one of his presidency, which was another lie, of course. But all he's done is pushed it in the opposite direction. The only way to end this war is to make it clear that Ukraine is going to stop Putin from taking over the country, to force Putin to accept a compromise. Right now, because of everything that Trump has done, Putin doesn't think he has to accept that compromise. So he is bombing Ukraine more, more aggressively attacking Ukraine than he has since the first weeks of the war, all because Donald Trump has given him a big green light to do so. This is a horrible decision for U.S. national security.
Congressman Adam Smith, appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Thanks for the chance.
President Trump pitching a new plan to allow undocumented migrants to stay in the country if far